Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Thursday, August 20th, 2020. Today I'm going to recap yesterday's NBA, NHL, Major League Baseball, and WNBA games and look ahead to today's games and all those slates. Golf, we will go over the current leaderboard at the Northern Trust. Tonight is the NBA Draft Lottery, so I'm going to preview and predict it, and my best bet of the day. All right, we'll start with the NBA. Very interesting results last night, leading to some what-ifs for me. Raptors over the Nets, 104-99 to take a 2-0 series lead. Norman Powell had 24 points to lead the Raps. Garrett Temple had 21 to lead Brooklyn. Jazz defeated the Nuggets 124-105. They even up the series at 1 apiece. A great performance for the Jazz. Donovan Mitchell, 30 points and 8 assists. Nikola Jokic, 28 points, 11 boards, and 6 assists for Denver. Celtics over the 76ers, 128-101 to take a 2-0 series lead. No Gordon Hayward, no problem. Jason Tatum, 33 points and 5 assists. Joel Embiid, 34 points, but he just didn't have any help in this game whatsoever. Mavericks over the Clippers, 127-114 to tie up the series at 1 apiece. Luka Doncic had 28 points and 7 assists. Kawhi Leonard had 35 and 10 boards. To me, the big what-if to come out of this game is if Porzingis didn't get ejected in the first game, maybe Dallas wins game 1 and they're up 2-0. So that bad ejection that shouldn't have happened could come back to haunt the Mavericks in the series. And to me, that's like a huge what-if there. Today's games, 1 o'clock on ESPN. You have Game 2 between the Heat and the Pacers. I would make Miami a 4-point favorite and the total at 213. Meanwhile, on FanDuel, the Miami Heat are favored by 4.5 points. The over-under is 217. I like the under here. These two teams play defense. Jimmy Butler is a good two-way guy. Bam Adebayo is a good two-way guy. Iguodala, Crowder, those guys can play two-way. In terms of who I think is going to win this game, I think Miami will go up 2-0. They're just a better team. So I think the spread is very close. So if I had to make a play here, it's the under 217 because I have it at 213. I have a 4-point edge on the under. 3:30 on ESPN, you have the Thunder and the Rockets. The Rockets are 2-point favorites. The over-under is 225.5. No Russell Westbrook still for the for the Rockets. Talking like it's last year. So used to Russ wearing blue. It's weird to think he's on the Rockets and that Paul's on OKC. But I'd make OKC a 1.5-point favorite here. And the total, I would make 223. In terms of a selection here, I would go with the bounce back, the Thunder. Getting the 2. I have an edge on the Thunder. So give me OKC and the 1.5, although I do like the under 2, but that came back to bite me in game 1. So I like the Thunder better, and I think they'll even up the series at 1 apiece. The Bucks and the Magic, 6 o'clock on ESPN. Milwaukee's favored by 13. The over-under is 227. I'd make Milwaukee 12 and the total 226. So both lines are very, very close to what I would make them. I think the status of Aaron Gordon is important for Orlando, although they did not miss him the other day. There's not any reports about injuries for game 2 for Orlando. Gordon was listed as questionable on on DraftKings today. So these lines are so close. This is such a hard call. Because I'm 1 point off with the total and 1 point off with the line. But if I had to make a guess or a pick, I go under 227. I think the Bucks will play better defensively, but I think there's a better chance the Bucks blow out the Magic and they cover than the overhitting. So I'm going to say under 226 and the Bucks blow out the Magic to even up the series at 1 apiece. And last but not least, the biggest game of the night, 9 o'clock on ESPN. Well, I think it's the biggest game of the night and the best game of the night. The Blazers and the Lakers. The Lakers are favored by 6.5. The over-under is 228.5. I have a huge edge on the under. I think it might be a major overreaction from the low-scoring game 1. DC teams obviously have a reputation of high-scoring games. But both of these teams showed a little defensive intensity in game 1. And you could argue that both teams should be better offensively than they are. But I think that the total is very high. So give me the under 228.5. That's my favorite play for the NBA today, actually. Under 228.5 in the Lakers-Blazers game. And it won't be shocked if that's an easy win for me, as I think that this could be a defensive-style-oriented game. Now I'm going to go over the NHL playoff results from yesterday. Busy day yesterday in the NHL. And we'll look ahead to today's small slate in the NHL. Lightning over the Blue Jackets 5-4 in overtime on a goal by Braden Point to advance to the next round. The number 3 started the game with 2 assists. Vladislav Garakov, the number 2 started the game with a goal and assist. Anthony Cirelli, number 1 started the game with a goal and 2 assists. Braden Point, who scored the series clincher for Tampa. Bruins over the Hurricanes 2-1 to advance in 5 games to the next round. The number 3 started the game with 2 assists. David Pastrnak, the number 2 started the game with a goal and assist. David Krejci, number 1 started the game with a goal and assist. Patrice Bergeron. Avalanche over the Coyotes 7-1 to advance. The number 3 started the game with 2 assists. Veiko Rantanen, number 2 started the game with 2 goals. Nazem Kadri, the number 1 started the game with 2 goals and 2 assists. Nathan McKinnon. Canadians over the Flyers 5-3 to force a Game 6. Montreal playing really, really well in this game. Carter Hart finally turning into a human. The number 3 starting game with 2 goals and assists. Jacob Voracek, number 2 starting game with a goal and assist. Nick Suzuki, and the number 1 star of the game with 2 goals for the Canadians. Joel Armia. Canucks over the Blues 4-3 to take a 3-2 series lead. Number 3 star of the game with 36 saves on 39 shots. Jacob Markstrom, number 2 star of the game with a goal and assist. JT Miller, the number 1 star of the game with 2 goals. Tyler Motte. 2 games tonight. Game 5, Islanders Capitals, 8 o'clock on NBCSN. I took the Islanders in 6 games for the series. I don't know what that was 2 days ago with the blown 2-0 lead. The Capitals are slight favorites, 115 over the Islanders, minus 105. This is a hard call. Does Vegas know something that the Capitals are favored in this spot? I'm going to say the Capitals win and force a Game 6, but the Isles close out in Game 6, if that makes any sense. So give me the Capitals tonight against the Islanders. 10:30, a possible elimination game, the Stars and the Flames. Dallas up 3-2 in the series. I'm going to go with Calgary. I took Calgary in 7 in the series, so I'm going to take Calgary here. They are a plus 105 underdog. Dallas is minus 120, so give me the Flames plus 105 tonight against the Dallas Stars. Now we'll move on to Major League Baseball. We'll go over yesterday's slate and look ahead to today's very busy game slate. Blue Jays over to Orioles 5-2. The Blue Jays are 10-11. Baltimore 12-12. Tanner Roark, the win 2-1. The loss, Tommy Lohn 1-3. Getting the save for Toronto his first of the year, Rafael Dolis. Home runs in this game, Randall Grichuk twice, and that's it. Roark, 5 innings, 9 hits, an earned run, a walk, and 5 strikeouts, ERA 4.76. Malone, 6 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, no walks, 7 strikeouts, ERA 4.13. So a quality outing for Tommy Malone in defeat. Red Sox over the Phillies, 6-3. Boston 7-18. Philly 9-10. Getting the win for the Red Sox, Austin Bryce, he's 1-0. Jake Arrieta, the loss, he's 1-3. Bradley Workman gets his 4th save of the season. The lone home run in this game was by Rafael Devers. Getting the start for Boston last night was Kyle Hart. 3 2/3, 2 hits, 2 runs, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts, ERA 11.12. Jake Arrieta, 4 1/3, 5 hits, 4 runs, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts, ERA 4.95. Cardinals over the Cubs 9-3 in game 1 of the doubleheader. Cards 6-6, Cubs 15-8. Tyler Webb, the win. Alec Mills, the loss. Mills 2-2, Webb 1-1. Home runs in this game, Matt Carpenter, a grand slam in the top of the first. Ian Happ and Josh Phegley in the bottom of the 7th. Jack Flaherty got the start. An inning and 2/3, a hit and a run, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, ERA 3.12. I wonder if there was an injury there. That's very weird that he didn't go that long. Alec Mills, 3 2/3, 7 hits, 6 runs, 2 walks, and a strikeout, ERA 4.76. I mean, Mills only going 3 2/3 is because he had a bad outing. Royals over the Reds 4-0 in the first of 2 doubleheader games. KC 10-14, Cincinnati 9-12. Brad Keller's 3-0. Luis Castillo, the loss, he's 0-3. Trevor Rosenthal gets his 6th save of the year. Brad Keller, 6 2/3, 3 hits, no earned runs, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts, ERA of 0. He's been brilliant. Luis Castillo, 3 1/3, 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, ERA 4.44. Game 2 doubleheader, Cubs over the Cardinals 4-2. So the Cubs are 16-8. The Cards 6-7. Jeremy Jeffress with the win. He's 2-1. The loss, Andrew Miller, he's 0-1. Craig Kimbrell gets his first save of the season and actually had a clean bottom of the inning. No home runs in this game. Getting the start in this game for the Cubs was Edbert Alzolay, who was a highly regarded prospect a few years ago for them. 5 innings, 2 hits, no runs, a walk, 6 strikeouts, ERA of 0. Getting the start for St. Louis was Johan Oviedo. 5 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, ERA of 3.6. Indians over the Pirates 6-1. The Indians are 15-9. Pittsburgh 4-16. Aaron Savali to win, he's 3-2. The loss for Pittsburgh, Davidas Neverskauas, he's 0-3. The lone home run in this game was in the top of the 6th by Carlos Santana, a 3-run shot. Aaron Savali, a complete game, 5 hit, 1 hit, 9 inning, 5 hit, 1 earned run, no walk, 6 strikeouts, ERA 2.91. So a complete game for him. Stephen Brault started for Pittsburgh, 5 innings, 2 hits, no runs, a walk, 3 strikeouts, ERA of 3. Rays over the Yankees 4-2. The Rays are 16-9. The Yanks are 16-8. So the Yanks are only up a half game on Tampa Bay. Getting the win for Tampa Bay, Peter Fairbanks, he's 3-1. Zach Britton, the loss, he's 0-2, now on the injured list. And Jalen Beeks gets his first save of the season. Home runs in this game, Jaiman Choi, Mike Zunino, and Luke Voigt. Tyler Glass now 5 2/3, 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts, ERA of 6. Garrett Cole, 6 2/3, 6 hits, 2 runs, a walk, and 10 strikeouts, ERA 2.75. He was brilliant. He was better in this game than he was in that other game against the Rays in Tropicana Field. Mets over the Marlins 5-3. A big win for the Mets. They're 12-14. Miami 9-9. Edwin Diaz gets the win. And getting the loss was Brandon Kintzler. The lone home run in this game was the go-ahead home run in the top of the 9th inning for the Mets by Michael Conforto. Jacob deGrom, 6 innings, 4 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 7 strikeouts, ERA a 1.93. So he's looking like the favorite to repeat or three-peat for the Cy Young. Pablo Lopez, 6 1/3, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, a walk, 5 strikeouts, ERA 2.42. Reds over the Royals, 5-0 in 7 innings. Cincy 10-12, KC 10-15. Trevor Bauer to win, he's 3-0. Matt Harvey the loss, he's 0-1. Home runs in this game all by the Reds. Jesse Winker, Eugenio Suarez, Nicholas Castellanos, and Kurt Casale. Trevor Bauer, and this is DeGrom's competition. A complete game, 1 hit, no earned runs, 3 walks, 9 strikeouts, ERA of .68. Obviously, it was a 7-inning doubleheader game, but it's still a complete game, although an abbreviated one. Matt Harvey, 3 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, ERA of 9. White Sox over the Tigers, 5-3. The White Sox are playing well. They're 14-11. Detroit 9-13. Getting the win, Evan Marshall, he's 1-1. The loss, Gregory Soto, he's 0-1. And Alex Colon gets the 6th save of the season. Home runs, Edwin Encarnacion, Javier Candelario, Jose Abreu, and Edwin Encarnacion again. Dane Dunning started for Chicago, 4 1/3, 5 hits, 3 runs, a walk, 7 strikeouts, ERA 6.23. And Casey Mize, in his big league debut, 4 1/3, 7 hits, 3 runs, no walks, 7 strikeouts, ERA 6.23. Brewers over the Twins, 9-3. The Brewers are 11-11. The Twins are 16-9. Getting the win for Milwaukee, Brett Anderson, he's 1-2. The loss, Rich Hill, he's 1-1. Rich Hill, with a very bad start for Minnie. Home runs in this game, Ryan Braun, Christian Yelich, Abisail Garcia, Keston Hiura, and Marvin Gonzalez. Anderson, 6 innings, 5 hits, and a run, no walks, 5 strikeouts, ERA 3.71. That was his best start of the season. Rich Hill, 2 2/3, 4 hits, 4 runs, 4 walks, and a strikeout, ERA 4.7. Astros over the Rockies, 13-6. The Astros are 14-10. Colorado is 13-11. Fambar Valdez is 2-2 with the win. And getting the loss was Ryan Castellini. He is 0-1. Home runs, Martin Maldonado, Carlos Correa, George Springer, Kyle Tucker. Fambar Valdez, 7 2/3, 7 hits and a run, a walk, and 5 strikeouts, ERA 1.72. Ryan Castellini, 5 2/3, 8 hits, 5 earned runs, a walk, and a strikeout, ERA 3.77. Padres over the Rangers, 6-3 in 10 innings on a walk-off grand slam by Manny Machado. The Padres are 14-12. Texas is 10-13. Getting the win for San Diego, Tim Hill, he's 1-0. And Rafael Montero takes the loss for Texas, he's 0-1. Home runs in this game, Rougned Odor, Jurickson Profar, Fernando Tatis Jr., Joey Gallo, and then the walk-off grand slam by Machado. Getting the start for San Diego is Chris Paddock. 6 innings, 4 hits, and a run, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, ERA 4.26. Lance Lynn, 7 innings, 8 hits, 2 runs, no walks, 6 strikeouts, ERA 1.37. Athletics over the Diamondbacks, 4-1. The A's are 17-8 to snap the Diamondbacks winning streak at 6, who dropped the 13-12. Jesus Luzardo, the win, he's 2-0. Merrill Kelly, the loss, 3-2. Liam Hendricks gets his 8th save of the season. The lone home run in this game was a 2-run shot by Mark Hanna. Jesus Luzardo, 6 1/3, 4 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, ERA 3.67. Merrill Kelly, 5 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, ERA 2.59. Mariners over the Dodgers, 6-4. This was a big upset. The Mariners are 8-18. The Dodgers are 18-8. Taijuan Walker gets the win. He's 2-2. Getting the loss for the Dodgers, Dennis Santana, he's 1-1. And Taylor Williams gets his 4th save of the season for Seattle. Home runs in this game, Max Muncy, Jack Peterson, Cody Bellinger, Austin Nola, and Dylan Moore. So this was a very bad loss for the Dodgers, if you ask me. Taijuan Walker, 7 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, a walk, and 8 strikeouts, ERA of 4. Julio Urias, an inning and 2/3, 4 hits, an earned run, a walk, and 5 strikeouts, ERA 2.74. I wonder if he had an injury in that game. Giants over the Angels, 7-2. San Francisco 10-16. The Angels dropped to 8-17. Johnny Cueto, the win, he's 2-0. Patrick Sandoval, the loss, he's 0-3. Home runs in this game: Wilmer Flores, Austin Slater, and that's it. Cueto, 5 2/3, 4 hits, 2 runs, a walk, and 8 strikeouts. ERA 4.35. Patrick Sandoval, 4 innings, 6 hits, 5 runs, 2 walks, and a strikeout. ERA of 5.4. Nationals Braves postponed, makeup date September 4th. Today's games: 1 o'clock. The Rays against the Yankees. John Curtis against James Paxton. Curtis 1-0 to 2.84 ERA, whip of .79. Paxton 1-1 to 7.04 ERA, whip of 1.63. Paxton, the last time he pitched against the Rays, pitched beautifully, and he just fell apart there at the end. So let's see if Paxton can carry over that good start from Tampa to this one, and the Yanks offense can get going against the Rays quote-unquote bullpen day. This is a big game, and I think the Yankees have to absolutely win this game, because obviously if they don't, they get swept, and the Rays would take over for first place in the division. And give the Rays credit for winning 2 out of 3. This was an important series for them as well, so the Rays don't have to win today. Phillies and the Blue Jays, doubleheader makeup from July 31st. I guess this was a COVID makeup game. Spencer Howard against Chase Anderson. Howard 0-1 to 7.88 ERA, whip of 2.13. He was a highly touted prospect for Philly. Chase Anderson, no decisions, 3 ERA, whip of 1.33. 2 o'clock ESPN 2, the Tigers and the White Sox. Spencer Turnbull and Lucas Giolito. Turnbull 2-1 to 2.78 ERA. Giolito 1-2 to 4.88 ERA. Turnbull whip of 1.24. Giolito whip of 1.41. 3 o'clock, the Astros and the Rockies. Christian Javier and German Marquez. Javier 2-1 to 2.91 ERA, whip of .83. Marquez 2-3 to 2.25 ERA, whip of 1.09. 4 o'clock, doubleheader game 2. Phillies Blue Jays from Buffalo. Vince Velasquez and Trent Thornton. Velasquez and Thornton both have no decisions. Velasquez 7.88 ERA, whip of 1.75. Thornton 2.25 ERA, whip of 2.5. 6 o'clock, Mets Marlins. Seth Lugo and Daniel Castano. Lugo 1-2 with a 2.61 ERA, whip of .97. Castellano 0-1 to 4.35 ERA, whip of 1.16. 7 o'clock, Indians Pirates. Shane Bieber and Trevor Williams. Bieber 4-0 with a 1.3 ERA, whip of .72. Williams 1-3 to 3.98 ERA, whip of 1.23. Brewers Twins. Brandon Woodruff against Jose Barrios. Woodruff 1-1 to 3.16 ERA, whip of 1.05. Barrios 1-3 to 5.92 ERA, whip of 1.64. And that's a Fox Sports 1 game, so I have to pick it. I want to see what the Brewers on the money line is, because Barrios has been mediocre this season. And the Brewers... Oh, it's a pick'em. Oh. I would go with the Brewers. Just a gut pick. I think they'll follow up that good offensive performance again here tonight. I consider over 9 as well. That's another good bet. So give me the Brewers here to knock off the Twins for the second straight night. Dodgers Mariners. Clayton Kershaw and Yasei Kikuchi. Kershaw 2-1 with a 2.65 ERA, whip of .82. Kikuchi 0-1 with a 5.28 ERA, whip of 1.3. 7:30, Red Sox Orioles. Nathan Eovaldi and Asher Wojciechowski. Eovaldi 1-2 with a 5.13 ERA, whip of 1.43. Wojciechowski 1-2 with a 4.34 ERA, whip of 1.18. 8 o'clock, Rangers Padres. Kyle Gibson and Dinelson Lamet. Gibson 1-2 with a 3.74 ERA, whip of 1.48. Lamet 2-1 with a 1.59 ERA, whip of .81. 8:15, Reds Cardinals. Sonny Gray and Adam Wainwright. First home game for the Cardinals in a long time. Gray 4-1 with a 2.05 ERA, whip of .91. Wainwright 2-0 with a 1.64 ERA, .82 whip. 9:40, Diamondbacks Athletics. Alex Young and Sean Manaea. Young 1-0 with a 3.86 ERA, whip of 1.14. Manaea 0-2 with a 7.65 ERA, whip of 1.6. 9:45 at Angels Giants. Jose Suarez against Kevin Gausman. Suarez making his season debut. Gausman 0-1 with a 4.21 ERA with a whip of 1. I believe it was 1.27. Let me double check that. 1.17, so even better than I thought. WNBA, we'll go over the games from yesterday, and we'll look ahead to today's slate as well. Mystics over the Dream, 98-91. Much needed win for the Mystics. They're 4-7. Atlanta's 2-10. Stella Johnson, 25 points. And Bethesda Lanny had 35 for Atlanta. Lynx over the Wings, 91-84. The Lynx are 8-3. Dallas 4-8. Crystal Dangerfield had 21 to lead Minnesota with 6 assists. Alicia Gray had 22 to lead Dallas. Sparks over the Mercury, 83-74. The Sparks are 8-3. Phoenix is 6-6. Candace Parker had 16 points and 12 boards. Diana Taurasi had 19 points to lead Phoenix. Looking ahead to today, 3 games, 7 o'clock on CBS Sports Network. You have the Sky and the Liberty. I'm going to go with the Sky here. The Liberty are just a bad team without Sabrina Ionescu. They need Ionescu back ASAP to at least be competitive. So give me the Sky here to continue their good run this season. 8 o'clock, you have the Storm and the Fever. Storm 11-1, Fever 4-7. 10 o'clock, CBS SN. The Sun and the Aces. The Suns 5-7. The Aces are 8-3. I'm going to go with the Aces again here. They're the better team led by Aja Wilson. So give me the Aces here against the Sun, who have been playing a little better, but I just think the Aces are the better team. Now I'm going to go over the current leaderboard at the Northern Trust. I think this is going to be a really fun tournament. A lot of big names in this, obviously. In first place with 7 under right now is Harris English. Tied for second with 5 under, Ian Poulter, Taylor Gooch, Daniel Berger, and Lewis Olson. Tied for 6th with 4 under, Harry Higgs, Maverick McNally, Brendan Steele, Dustin Johnson, Scotty Piercy, Ches Reeves in the next group, and Charlie Hoffman. Ches Reeves in the tie for 12th with 3 under, along with Joaquin Neiman, Justin Thomas, Tyrell Hatton, Matt Kuchar, Andrew Landry, Carlos Ortiz. Actually, no, Kuchar, Landry, Ortiz, Rory McIlroy, Webb Simpson, Tiger, Matt Jones, Jordan Spieth, Cameron Triangle, and Kyung-Hoo Lee are all 2 under. Oh, and so is Pat Perez. 1 under, you got Jason Day, Patrick Cantley, Gary Woodland, Brendan Todd, Ricky Fowler, Justin Rose, Bubba Watson. Even right now, JT Potson, Harold Varner. And now I'm just going through notables. Dylan McCarthy, Henrik Norlander, Danny Lee, Paul Casey, Mackenzie Hughes. 1 over, Colin Morikwa, Abraham Answer, Brock Stewart. Doc Redmond's in the tie for 68th with 2 over. Still yet to go. Mark Hubbard, Kevin Na, Hideki Matsuyama, Tyler Duncan, Xander Schauffele, John Rahm, Scotty Scheffler, Tony Finau, Sungjae Im, Bryson DeChambeau, Tommy Fleetwood, Zach Johnson, Luke List, Shane Lowry. So you have a couple that are still... and Patrick Reed as well. He hasn't gone yet. So a couple big names yet to tee off. So it's going to be interesting to monitor. Now, before Best Bet, I want to discuss the NBA Draft Lottery being tonight, 8:30 ESPN, right after the finish of the Bucks Magic game and right before the Portland Lakers game. I think it's going to get a good number because it's right before the Laker game. There are some storylines. The best players in the draft are LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards. You got James Weissman. You have a bunch of other people. Obi Toppin. Denny Avdija. Couple other good international guys. Killian Hayes is in there as well. So we're going to be hearing a lot about these guys within the next couple of weeks and whatnot. The draft isn't until October after the season ends. They're doing like a virtual lottery type of show tonight with like fans and stuff rooting, and the executives from each team representing virtually. So the projected lottery order as of right now, so the Golden State Warriors have a 14% chance at the number one pick, as well as the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Hawks have a 12.5% chance, the Pistons 10.5%, the Knicks 9%, Chicago 7.5%, Charlotte 6%, Washington 4.5%, Phoenix 3%, San Antonio 2%, Sacramento 1.3%, New Orleans 1.2%, Memphis 0.5%. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. So the projected order from 1 to 14 is Golden State, Cleveland, Minnesota, Atlanta, Detroit, Knicks. Or I'm sorry, Knicks would be 7, Detroit 6, Atlanta. Wait a minute, this doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, so Knicks, Bulls, Charlotte 8, Washington 9, Phoenix 10, San Antonio 11, Sacramento 12, New Orleans 13, Memphis 14. But the reason why it doesn't really make sense to me is that if it goes to projected order, I'm going to use the Knicks, for example. The Knicks have an 8.6% chance at number 6 pick, but 29.8% chance at the 7th pick. And Detroit's another good example. They're listed 5th on the list, and they have a 26.7% chance at the number 7 pick. And the Bulls have a 34.1% chance at the number 8 pick. So I'm going to predict the order of the draft lottery, as well as talk about possible fits. Number 14, I think, will be Memphis. The Pelicans, I think, will land in the 13th spot. 12, I think, will be Sacramento. 11, San Antonio. 10, I'm going to say Washington. 9, I think, will be Charlotte. 8, I'm going to say the New York Knicks. 7, the Detroit Pistons. 6th, I'm going to say the Minnesota Timberwolves. 5th, I'm going to say the Cleveland Cavaliers. So my projected top 4 is the Suns, the Bulls, the Warriors, and the Hawks. I think that the number 4 pick will go to Phoenix. I think Phoenix jumps to 4. The number 3 pick, I'm going to say, goes to the Chicago Bulls. Number 2, I'm going to say the Hawks. And number 1, I think the Golden State Warriors get the number 1 pick. Yeah, they had the worst record, but I think that it's meant to be for Golden State getting the number 1 pick, and they're ultimately going to trade that, along with the Andrew Wiggins contract, to somebody to get that 3rd star to go with Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson. Or maybe they trade the Draymond Green contract instead of the Andrew Wiggins contract and to keep Wiggins around. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. So again, my predicted order for tonight: Memphis 14, 13 New Orleans, 12 Sacramento, 11 San Antonio, 10 Washington, 9 Charlotte, 8 the Knicks, 7 the Pistons, 6 the Timberwolves, 5th the Cavaliers, 4th the Suns, 3 Chicago, 2 Atlanta, and 1 Golden State. So Atlanta at number 2. Say if Atlanta gets the number 1 pick or moves up. There's rumors that they love LaMelo Ball, and they think that he could be perfect to go with Trae Young. I'm for the one that thinks that they should potentially trade that pick and get that extra star to go with John Collins and Young, and get a wing guy, and they could trade the pick, and they can trade Cam Reddish. They can trade Kevin Huerter with that pick, and they can go get that 3rd star, potentially. That is a possible, like, Bradley Beal destination. I like that package to go to Washington for Bradley Beal. I think that'd be really good. I don't think Bradley Beal is the start that Golden State's looking for, though. I think they either want, like, a big man or a combo forward, like a better version of Andrew Wiggins, pretty much. Trying to think of who could be that guy to go with Klay and Steph. If they drop, I could see a world where they pull off like an Aaron Gordon type of trade. He'd be a good fit there. And they could package the pick. I don't think it would be number 1, but if they do get number 1, they'll probably aim higher for Aaron Gordon. But if they drop to, say, 2, 3, 4, or even 5, then Golden State could do Aaron Gordon for that pick with the Wiggins contract. Because Wiggins would fit Orlando, like, for a brief time while Jonathan Isaac's out. Because they need some help on the wings. And they also need guard help as well. And that would have been the perfect D'Angelo Russell team. Like, if they kept D'Angelo Russell and did that for Aaron Gordon, well, that would have worked out well for both teams. But I think Golden State's happy with what Minnesota gave to them. And then they have that extra pick from Minnesota they can offer in a trade for a star, too. But the guy that they're aiming for, obviously, is Karl Anthony Towns. If they get that number 1 pick, I think they can trade that to Minnesota along with... they're not going to send back the Wiggins contract to Minnesota. That'd be weird. Draymond Green and maybe that other pick that they got from Minnesota in the Russell deal back to Minnesota for Towns. And maybe they flip Wiggins elsewhere, like Atlanta or Orlando or somebody like that. The Timberwolves should keep the pick no matter what. That's a team that's not trying to win or shouldn't be trying to win. They should be trying to rebuild. I've been saying on the podcast that I think Karl Anthony Towns wants out. And I think that they should be looking to trade him. But their core, I mean, they have some guys that I like. I mean, I like Jarrett Culver. D'Angelo Russell and Towns together is intriguing. So, I think they would keep the pick, and I projected them to drop in the lottery to the 6th spot. We talked about the Hawks already. Cleveland, I think they dropped to the 5 spot. I think that Cleveland should keep the pick, too. I know that they like to try to do, like, the win now stuff because Dan Gilbert is an owner with a chip on his shoulder all the time. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. I think their biggest need is like a wing player. Like Anthony Edwards would fit them well. But the issue is that he's a 2-guard / small forward, and they have Colin Sexton and Darius Garland. Maybe they trade one of those guys in a package. Maybe that's a possible Orlando Aaron Gordon thing. So I like that. Detroit, they're interesting. To me, they should be like a rebuilding sort of team too. They trade away Andre Drummond already. If I'm them and they land in the top 3, I would trade the pick with the Blake Griffin contract somewhere to try to move down. And Blake Griffin's just not good anymore. I mean, he's not a star anymore. So if I'm Detroit, I try to trade that number 1 pick with the Griffin contract, so the team that takes on Griffin gets the prize that is a top 3 pick potentially. So that's what I would do if I'm Detroit. New York, if the Knicks land in the top 3, or heck, dare I say, get the number 1 pick, it would be this year where there's not that generational type of guy in there like a Zion Williamson. This would be the draft lottery that the Knicks would win, if we're being quite frank. But if they get a top 3 pick, especially that number 1 or number 2 pick, I would trade down because the Knicks are still far away from contention. Yeah, they have some extra picks due to the Kristaps Porzingis and Marcus Morris trades. But if I'm New York and I get a top 2 pick, I trade down. And if I'm the Knicks, if you stay at 7, you're fine. I think the Knicks are fine if they stay in that 6-7 spot. Because they can pick like somebody like Denny Avdija, who I think would be a solid fit on the wing next to R.J. Barrett. I think Anthony Edwards would be a good fit for the Knicks. Be that scoring guy, and then R.J. Barrett can be the distribution guy. So I like that fit. James Weissman would be a weird fit because they already have Mitchell Robinson there. LaMelo Ball, I think, is polarizing due to the fact that he is in a crazy family. His father's a weirdo and is demanding. So I don't think that LaMelo Ball would really work in New York, and that's not entirely his fault, but maybe I'm wrong about that. Chicago is another polarizing LaMelo Ball destination because of the big market and his father and everything and all the pressure. Everyone talks about the Knicks having a lot of pressure. The Bulls, the same thing can be said about them as well because they're a big market team that just loves to attract loves to try to attract the big names and the big tickets like the Knicks do. And the Bulls do have a promising core. I talked about the Knicks a little bit here with Barrett and Robinson. The Bulls have Lauri Markkanen. Zach LaVine, they may try to trade, but we'll see. Wendell Carter Jr. is promising. Yeah, if I'm the Bulls, I think Anthony Edwards would be a good fit there as well. And I think LaMelo Ball there would be very polarizing. Charlotte, to me, they can use somebody like a James Weissman. I think that's a good fit for them. They would keep the pick. Washington, I think, can really use a boost, especially if they wind up trading away Bradley Beal. That's a team that's heading into a full-blown rebuild and could be one of the worst teams in the NBA for the next couple of seasons. So they can use any guy to be the next building block to go with Rui Hachimura if they decide to trade away Bradley Beal. Phoenix, they're very deserving of landing in the top 4. I think the basketball gods are going to reward them for their 8-0 restart, and they land in the top 4. I predict that they're going to get the number 4 pick, and maybe they'll trade it with a couple other assets to get a star to go with Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton, and they can build a little contender out in the West instead of trying to trade Devin Booker and rebuild. I think the narrative around the Suns due to their 8-0 bubble has changed for the better, and I really hope that the league rewards the Suns for that because they deserve something and some consolation prize for their 8-0 bubble and not making the postseason. So I'm intrigued to see where they land. The Spurs, if they land in the top 4, that'd be really good for them. They obviously are in need of a rebuild. I think they're going to eventually trade away LaMarcus Aldridge and DeMar DeRozan. Greg Popovich doesn't want to go anywhere. Like, that guy just wants to coach. He lost his wife not long ago, and I think that's the coaching is what's keeping him busy and keeping his motivation and whatnot. So I think Pop's going to actually stick around maybe 1 or 2 more years. And I did predict him leaving the Spurs or retiring a couple years ago, but that obviously has not happened yet. But the Spurs can use a young building block for the future to go with DeJounte Murray. And Jakob Poeltl had a nice bubble too, so I wonder what they feel about him. Sacramento did show some life in the bubble. They have an emerging core, De'Aaron Fox and Marvin Bagley. They have a couple veterans too. I think they're a candidate to trade their pick, even if it's a lottery pick, to get like a wing guy. And they actually have Buddy Hield and Bogdanovic there as well. So the Kings have some pieces. Maybe they trade that pick with a couple of the pieces they have. Maybe Buddy Hield to go get a star. And Buddy Hield's obviously not happy there. So Sacramento's one to watch out for. And if they land in the top 4, that makes a trade for them, I think, even more likely. New Orleans, I think that this is the best candidate to trade the pick. Obviously, they have Zion. They have Lonzo. They have Brandon Ingram. They have Drew Holiday. Jackson Hayes has been promising so far. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with their selection. And I doubt they move up in the top 4. That would be absolutely laughable, rigged for Zion narratives coming if they moved up to the top 4. And then last but not least, the Memphis Grizzlies. I think that's a team that deserves some good karma. They really, despite being doubted by so many in the bubble, made that play-in game and almost knocked off Portland due to the brilliant Ja Morant, who is the face of that franchise now and going forward. Jaren Jackson Jr. is there as well. If they moved up to the top 4, I think Anthony Edwards would be a good fit there, along with Ja Morant to be like the scoring guy for them. The idea of Jace Weissman on the Grizzlies is laughable because he obviously played with Memphis and then wound up quitting school. But to me, that's just funny thinking about that. Him and Jaren Jackson Jr. in the front court, if they were to land in the top 4, maybe they trade Jonas Valanciunas somewhere. So that's an interesting little subplot as well. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this lottery holds up, and I'm obviously going to discuss it on the show tomorrow. And now my best bet of the day, brought to you by FanDuel. We have some very interesting options for today. I don't really love any of the basketball options. I thought about the Portland Lakers under, but I'm going to go with a baseball game. So I'm going to go with the over in the Angels-Giants game at 9. It's obviously a late game, 9:45 Eastern. Jose Suarez, Kevin Gausman, both those pitchers stink. I am taking the over in the Angels-Giants game. I think that one of those teams could potentially do it by themselves. So give me the over in Giants-Angels as my best bet of the day. After yesterday, it was an easy winner with the over in the Nuggets-Jazz game. That's it for the podcast today. I'll be back tomorrow recapping the draft lottery, NBA and Stanley Cup playoffs, baseball, WNBA, looking at the golf leaderboard. We'll do NASCAR picks as well. Hope you guys have a great day, everybody.